Hi everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. I'm Hayley, Head of Supplier Partnerships at Traveltech, and today I'm joined by Andrew Turner, Sales Director at Aurora Expeditions. Hi Andrew.
Oh, how you doing?
Good, thank you. I can see your awards in the background there. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Been collecting a few over the last few months.
Excellent. So in today's webinar, Andrew will be talking all things Aurora, giving you an insight into their fabulous product in order to help you sell to your customers. If you've got any questions, we've got a Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, so please feel free to add any questions as we go along, and then we'll just cover off at the end. But in the meantime, I'll hand over to you, Andrew.
Thanks so much, Hayley. Appreciate it. Thanks everyone for joining today. Really appreciate your time. Just over the next 40 to 45 minutes, I'm going to give you a bit of an overview as to who AE Expeditions, part of Aurora Expeditions globally are, a little bit about our brand, what makes us stand out amongst our competitors, our destinations, and why you should choose us for your customers as well. As Hayley mentioned, my name is Andrew Turner. I'm the Sales Director for EMEA and excited to be here today to tell you all about our wonderful expedition product. So a little bit about us and what we do. AE Expeditions, part of Aurora Expeditions, has been pioneering responsible travel for the last 33 years, started by a wonderful chap called Greg Mortimer, who is a legendary adventurer, more well known in the Australian market, and also the name of our first X-Bow ship. We are a B Corp company, and this is something we are really, really proud of. We became a B Corp earlier this year, and that is all about kind of transparency in terms of sustainability and all of the hard work that we have been doing over the last number of years there as well. We're all about adventure, discovery, and exploring and getting off the beaten track to some of the most wildest places on the planet, including Antarctica, the Arctic, and I'll tell you about some more exciting destinations which we have just launched over the last couple of months as well. Our purpose is to create lifelong ambassadors for the planet. So when you come on board an Aurora Expedition ship, we are hoping that you are going to leave immersed in some of the wonderful experiences that you have been doing on board there, including our citizen science, which I will touch upon as we go throughout the presentation, and that you will also kind of go on to tell about your friends and your family and educating them as well to become ambassadors for the planet also. So a little bit more about our ambassadors and who our ships are named after, and I will be going into lots more information about our ships and what makes them a little bit different. As I mentioned, Greg Mortimer was the founder of our business and the name of our first X-Bow ship, which was launched 6 years ago there as well. An X-Bow ship, you will notice, has got a slightly pointy nose to the front of it, and that allows the ship to be able to carve through the water rather than bouncing on top of it there as well. And that is really, really handy when you are going through some more tougher waters such as the Drake Passage. And Greg still leads a number of expeditions with us each year as well. Our second ship is called Sylvia Earle, a well-known marine biologist from the US, and she again is still coming on board some of our expeditions in her early 80s now, and very much around marine biology, telling us what we can and what we cannot bring on board in terms of kind of marine fish, and obviously setting up a lot of conservation projects as well and working very, very closely with us. And brand new for 2025, we have our third and final X-Bow ship that we'll be launching is the Douglas Mawson. And Douglas Mawson was a famous adventurer in the early 1900s in the Antarctica area, and very, very exciting story there and a lot of history to it as well. So that is our three ambassadors, and that is who our ships are named after. So what makes us a little bit different here at Aurora Expeditions as well? We're all about positive impact travel, so making sure that your customers are coming on board. We are 100% carbon neutral there as well. We're all about small ships. So when you are going to the polar regions with us, it's a maximum capacity of just 130 customers. That allows us to be very, very nimble when we are out in these wild oceans and allows us to change our course of itinerary if we need to do so. When you are coming on an expedition, of course, we've got a plan. We've got a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D, if not more. And obviously weather can change very, very quickly. So we asked our customers to come with a very, very open mind, and we are going to make sure they have the best experience possible when they are in these wild waters down there as well. What it means when we are a smaller ship? Well, in Antarctica, you can only have 100 people getting off at any one point on land in Antarctica there. We also have one of the largest array of activity programs in the polar regions, and generally 30 people are out doing activities, which allows the rest of our customers to get off and explore as much as we can land in their destinations there as well. Again, if we have got some bad weather, we can look for pockets of sunshine and rainbows, and our ship is small enough that we're able to be nimble and work out what landing sites are available for that day for us to be able to get across there and make sure we're maximizing that customer's experience to get off the ship. Purpose-built new ship, Greg Mortimer was the first in the X-Files series, and Douglas Mawson will be the last in the X-Files series. Very, very modern, comfortable ships, and your customers will have a very, very unique experience on them. The focus for us is the destination. The ships are very, very lovely. They're beautiful, they're stunning, and they've got plenty of deck space for your customers to enjoy. But we want your customers to focus on the destination, focus on the wildlife list rather than the wine list inside the bars there. Education and enrichment is so important to us here at Aurora Expeditions, and making sure that your customers are learning about the geology, about the history, the marine biology, the citizen science program that we have on board there as well. I mentioned more time off ship. By just having that smaller amount of customers in comparison to some of our competitors, that allows us to be a lot more nimble and get a lot more time on land in these destinations that you're going to. Of course, going to these wild places on the planet, it's not the cheapest product out there, and we want to make sure that you are maximizing the opportunity when you are down there. So by going smaller, you are going to have a much better experience for your customers. We've got one of the world's leading activity programs, whether that's kayaking, snowshoeing, or snorkeling. We have got plenty of options for your customers, and we have got an expert guide ratio of 7 customers to 1 expedition team member as well. So who are our customers? Well, there's many people that you can be targeting out there in terms of selling this amazing style of travel to. Firstly, I've worked in the adventure and touring space for quite some time, and your adventure and touring customers are the perfect person to be selling to. Your safari customers, if they want to go and see safari and ice. Of course, if you've got bird wildlife enthusiasts, this is an amazing product for them. They're going to see plenty of wildlife, whether that's in the Arctic, Antarctica, or even East Antarctica in the subantarctic islands also. But we are looking at targeting customers who are active. When we say active, they don't physically need to be running up and down the mountains there. As long as they can get on and off the Zodiac and they've got an element of being able to be curious and want to experience the destination, they are a perfect customer for us. Cultural explorers, photography enthusiasts, I'd probably say a good handful of people that come on board our ships have never used a camera. They'll come on board with that brand new camera, and we've got a photographer on every single voyage that is going to showcase to you how you can use that camera and make sure you're getting the best pictures of all of that wildlife, whether that's penguins in Antarctica or polar bears from a distance in the Arctic as well. Nature lovers, there's plenty of wildlife down in both Antarctica and the Arctic. Loads of ice. Obviously, the icebergs are fantastic and fascinating, and you're going to be zodiacing around them a lot throughout the duration of your expedition there as well. You might have special interest enthusiasts, someone that wants to kayak. Why don't you go kayaking in Antarctica? How amazing is that? You're going to be navigating around them icebergs. You might have a whale come up to your kayak and get quite close. It's very, very exciting. We've got a number of voyages where you can kind of go scuba diving on board as well, skiing. For people that want to hike, go and see the culture, the history. And we are perfect for solo travelers as well. And we are super, super excited that from Arctic season 2026, we have got 10 cabins on every single voyage that have no single supplement. Of course, that is going to sell out very, very quickly, and we do encourage our agent partners to get on that quickly to secure your customer the perfect space and an expedition. Onboard included extras, so your shore excursions to a degree are included in the price. House drinks are available at meal times, including wine and beer in the evening. There's no cost for Wi-Fi. We've got Starlink Wi-Fi. It's very, very good. I was FaceTiming my family when I was on board in Antarctica down there in February. You're going to get a 3-in-1 waterproof jacket, which is also made by a B Corp company. The use of muck boots throughout the duration of your voyage. A professional photographer is on board there as well. And certain days they will also be going out in one of the zodiacs, where you can potentially go out with a small group of you to learn how to use your cameras, and they're going to get them best shots out there as well. And taking pictures of ice is fascinating in some of the moody scenes that you will see down there. And all port charges, permits, and landing fees are included in the price as well. Everything is commissionable. There's nothing non-commissionable when it comes to selling AE Expeditions, part of Aurora Expeditions. We're all about protecting the world's wild places. Of course, we mentioned earlier that we are a B Corp. We're 100% climate neutral. We're all about reducing single-use plastics. So when you come on board with us, we are going to give you a reusable bottle, which they'll pop your name on, and you can take that home. And I'm still using mine to this very, very day. It's all about education and enrichment. As I mentioned there, we're going to have absolute experts in their fields, scientists and guides to enhance your customers' experience. You can participate in citizen science. You've got climate change expeditions on board as well. And we're all about collaborating for change as a company. So by coming with Aurora Expeditions, your customers are going to become ambassadors for the planet in all of the workshops and enrichment expeditions that we're doing. So citizen science is something that your customers can partake in whilst they are on board there. So from seabirds to Happy Whale, where you'll basically be taking pictures of whales and uploading them to a website that allows them to track how quickly they are moving throughout the ocean and where they are keeping themselves as well. Cleanup programs that we are doing on board, and of course looking at microplastics on board. Sylvia Earle and Douglas Mawson, we also have a science centre where we'll be able to take samples and look at them underneath a microscope as well. And all of this information is so important that we're actually passing this back to scientists on the ground around the world, that allows them to kind of track certain changes, as obviously getting down to these parts of the world isn't accessible at all times and can be quite expensive. So as I mentioned earlier, we have got 3 ships in our fleet, 2 which are in service right now, and really exciting is the Douglas Mawson launching in December 2025, of which its first voyage will be going around Tasmania. So Greg Mortimer and Sylvia Earle, maximum capacity there in the polar regions of 130, and then Douglas Mawson obviously is going to be doing its first season going to Eastern Antarctica, where the number of customers will be 130, but then its following season for Arctic and beyond is going to be going to Europe, where its capacity will be 154 on board Douglas Mawson on its European season, where I'll touch upon that more on our small ship cruises throughout the presentation. So in terms of our destinations, obviously Antarctica and the Arctic is the core of what we do. 2 of our ships are generally going to be down there. So Antarctica season started about 10 days ago now. We've just come to the end of our first voyage there. And Greg Mortimer and Sylvia Earle will be there through to the end of March, where we've got an array of different expeditions for your customers' experience, whether they just want to go to the Antarctic Peninsula, if they want to go across the Drake, of course, they absolutely can both ways. We also do fly voyages, fly sail voyages, and a number of specialist voyages as well, including for 2025 an active itinerary where including taster sessions of all of the activities. During our summer in the UK, the ships are going to be coming up towards the Arctic season, where we'll be doing some repositioning product, including Costa Rica, and then we'll be coming up to kind of UK waters, where they'll be doing some voyages around Scotland, going on to Iceland, and then up into the Arctic there as well. So that's really exciting. And then coming into 2026, we have just launched that the Douglas Mawson will be doing a Beyond season. So brand new for us here at AE Expeditions, part of Aurora, is that we are going to be having Douglas Mawson, our brand new ship, actually around UK waters for quite some time, as it's going to be doing a expedition around Ireland, Scotland, and then it's going on to do a number of expeditions in Europe through to about the end of September 2026. And Greg Mortimer is going to be doing some really exciting itineraries, including Indonesia, Raja Ampat, and also down to Tasmania again there later in 2026. So lots and lots of product that you can be selling to your customers there. So a little bit more about our ships. So Greg Mortimer launched in 2019. I've just noticed a typo there. It's 130 passengers, not 132, making sure it is a small ship experience. But as you can see, that pointy nose on the front there allows it to carve through the water that little bit easier and keeps it stabilized when we are in some uneven terrain. On the front there, you can also see the platforms that come out. They can be used when the water is completely still, allowing you to get closer to that wildlife and that ice down there as well. You can kind of see Greg Mortimer just kind of going through some of the surface ice there in a very, very Antarctic conditions. And this is our lecture theatre. This is the heart of the ship where all of the information is cascaded out to your customers, where our amazing expedition team are going to be showcasing their knowledge, whether that be on the history, the culture, the rock formations, the wildlife. There is so much that they are going to be sharing, and it really is a hub of knowledge where your customers can spend time when they are on the ship, beyond kind of getting off, and they can also relax and chill there in the evening. One of my favorite places in the lecture theatre is that it serves 24/7 hot chocolate and cookies. So if you do wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, like I did most day, you can go up to the top deck and just have a wander around with your cookie and your hot chocolate and just watch that amazing destination around you. On board our restaurant, we have got a dining room on Greg Mortimer, and we also have got a experience of an Italian restaurant as well, which you can be booked on board, and that's included within the price. We have a gymnasium on board. Should you wish to partake in that, I can confirm I did not use that once throughout the duration of my voyage. You have got a sauna. So during the voyage in Antarctica, you will be able to jump into the water. We call it the polar plunge. You'll be given a shot afterwards, whether that be vodka or sambuca. It does really quickly warm you up, but that is where a lot of customers will be using the sauna to warm up after that. Or maybe they will be in the top deck in one of the hot tubs that we have got on board as well. The mud room, you're going to spend a lot of time there. That's where you're going to be able to keep your 3-in-1 jacket and the use of your mud boots. It's all heated, so it all dries up very, very quickly. And it's where you're going to be getting on and off the ship. So the expedition manager will be calling you down, generally kind of cabin number or kind of deck by deck, to be able to get on and off the ship there. So just a little bit of information about some of our cabins. This is our leading balcony stateroom cabin. 85% of our cabins on board the ship have got balconies attached to them as well. So this is the standard, and depending on the location of the cabin across the ship, we have balcony staterooms category A, B, and C. You've also got a superior stateroom where the bed is twisted and you're looking directly out onto the balcony there. I was very fortunate to stay in this cabin when I was on board in February, and honestly, it is so exciting. When you're looking out of your bed and you're looking directly at the ice. I remember going through the Le Maire Channel and just seeing these towering cliffs above me. It's absolutely fascinating. When you are back on the ship and you're just relaxing in your cabin and you've got the doors open, which I did most time, I didn't close the curtain once. You could literally hear a drop of a pin needle, and hearing whales blow water and so on and so forth is absolutely fascinating. And you're just literally out there with your camera taking more pictures of wildlife. We have got a captain suite on board as well as junior suites, and it's worthwhile pointing out that if you're in the lower category cabins up into the captain suite, everyone is treated exactly the same on board there as well. There is no difference in terms of treatment. There's no butler service, and again, there's no kind of in-room service there as well. So our second ship is the Sylvia Earle. Again, 130 passengers on board there. That one was launched in 2022. Very similar kind of look and feel. The colors are slightly different, but this is the observation deck, and you can kind of see right out on the top. This is where I was drinking my hot chocolate each morning, looking out to amazing kind of sunrises, otherwise a very moody sky, and obviously watching out for wildlife. The lecture theatre on board there on Sylvia Earle, the Rock Hopper restaurant, bar area. It's worthwhile pointing out as well, obviously, it can be long days when you are on an expedition cruise. While some customers may well be into having a few drinks in the evening, it's generally very, very relaxed atmosphere on board. We are an Australian company, so it's very, very casual. There's no kind of dressing up if you don't feel like you want to. If you want to go to breakfast in your pajamas, that's okay with us. If you just want to rock up with your tracksuit on and relaxed, informal clothing in the evening for dinner, then that's okay. And it's worthwhile pointing out it's all about the experience. Our expedition team are absolutely amazing, and they're going to make the most amazing experience for your customers. If there is something happening, we will let you know. So you may well be sat down in the dining room in the evening and a pot of orca come by. We're going to let you know, and everyone's going to suddenly be hopping out of their seats from dinner and taking pictures, as much as I'm sure the dining staff find that quite frustrating. But it's all about the experience and making sure that we maximize that for your customers. This is the Science Centre and Lounge I mentioned earlier. Maybe you're doing citizen science programs, whether you're taking samples and you can come and look at them. It's very, very much geared up for that on board. Another sauna and a standard balcony cabin on board there. And again, the captain's suite, which basically has a living area with a TV sofa area. It's kind of got a category A balcony suite, and then you've also got a walk-in wardrobe as well as your bathroom. And finally, our brand new ship, Douglas Mawson, launching in December, which will have 154 passengers for the Beyond season. All polar regions will be 130 customers. You can see it's got a very similar look and feel. On board Douglas Mawson, we have got some specific solo cabins on there as well. And you can see, again, the balcony staterooms, same kind of size, just a different look and feel. The Superior there looking straight out towards the balcony. That is a junior suite, which again has a small living area attached to it. This is our bar and lounge area, our restaurant, the atrium including citizen science, the sauna, the gym. And on board Sylvia Earle and Douglas Mawson, we have got a swimming pool on top as well, which is heated, which your customers certainly can be using throughout the duration of their voyage. So a little bit about our expedition voyages. So we have expedition voyages going into Antarctica, the Arctic. We have some discovery voyages, and then we have our small ship cruises, which will be going into Europe in 2026. So what makes us different is we are giving your customers more time off ship, and that is so, so important when you are coming to our destinations. Who would want to pay this level of money to go to a destination and they can only get off the ship for an hour and a half a day? We are going to give maximum opportunity as much as we possibly can to get your customers off the ship. And that's generally going to be at least 2 times a day, if not 3. My experience earlier in the year is that we were coming back into King George Island, and we had the opportunity to get off at Deception Island, which wasn't a planned landing site for us, but there was availability that if we wanted to do that. So the tannoy went off at 5:30 in the morning, and by about 6:10, everyone was off the ship exploring Deception Island with all of its history, culture, and the steam coming up through the black sand on the beach there as well, which was absolutely fascinating and quite a treat to end the expedition there as well. So what's included? Your Zodiac cruises are included. So obviously you're going to be landing at certain points and you're going to be Zodiacing around ice. And that was one of the highlights for me. We got so close to a humpback whale when we were Zodiac cruising throughout the ice. It must have been about 2 meters away from us. Walks and hikes. If you want to go to the landing site and just stand there and kind of look out to the nature and what's happening, then that's absolutely fine. If you want to go up to a hiking site, then that is certainly okay. Photography is a key, obviously coming to our destinations. I've mentioned the photographer on board, and they will help you facilitate some of the best pictures, and we'll also be taking pictures throughout the duration of your voyage, which you can download at the end as well. Expert lectures are on board. Your polar plunge, if you wish to do it, about 70% of my voyage actually did that. Bird watching, historical sites, whether that be kind of a shipwreck that you're going to look at or whaling stations, we are going to give you as much information as we can. And of course, then citizen science projects, which we touched upon earlier. Optional activities. We have got one of the biggest variety of optional activities that your customers can join in as an additional extra, which they can pre-book at the time of booking, should they wish to do so. So if your customers want to camp outside in Antarctica, that is certainly something that can be done earlier in the season. Kayaking is one of our most popular activities, as well as scuba diving, and you can snorkel. And everyone kind of says, well, what do you see when you're snorkeling? Well, underneath the ice is fascinating. Obviously, you might see some penguins swimming by, and a group, a family on board my voyage did it, and they did a video at the end, and it was absolutely fascinating. Ski touring, snowshoeing, alpine hiking, Shackleton's Crossing is something we do earlier in the season as well. Snowboard touring, as well as paddling. So these are all extra activities that you can do. But as I mentioned earlier, we do have a departure, well, 2 departures in 2025, late November and in December, where we are including a taster of a number of activities as part of the voyage cost. So if your customer is wanting to go to Antarctica and they want to have that included, that is a great way of seeing and doing lots of them activities as well. You can just see there the back of the ship, where the crew are basically taking customers on and off the kayaks there, and you'll be able to see where the zodiacs are lowered down from the top of the ship. As I mentioned earlier, the expedition team really are the heart and soul of everything we do. Like, you could have the best ship out there, you could have a 6-star ship, but if you had a terrible expedition team, it would not be a great experience. So as I mentioned earlier, our ships are so modern, they are so comfortable, and they are a great experience for your customer, but we want to get your customers off the ship. The expeditions team combined have over 100 years experience, from marine biologists to geologists, historians, climatologists, and a lot more. They are going to be the heart and soul of everything that we do on board the ship there, and make sure that your customers have an excellent experience. The expedition team manager, as well as the expedition manager, are going to make sure your customers are enhanced as much as they possibly can, and they leave having an amazing experience and they're feeling absolutely wowed. So in terms of kind of the destinations we are traveling to, as I mentioned earlier, Antarctica and the Arctic is a core of what we do. Obviously going to the peninsula region in Antarctica, as well as South Georgia and the Falkland Islands. For 2026, Douglas Mawson will be going to East Antarctica, and we are hoping to go to Mawson's Hut, which is really, really exciting. Of course, going to the Arctic regions, we're doing kind of Norway, Svalbard, Greenland cruising, as well as into Iceland and the Northwest Passage. We have some discovery voyages which are going to Iceland, Scotland, Costa Rica, Panama. Brand new, we have a 7-day voyage into Costa Rica for 2026 as well as going into the Chilean Fjords and Patagonia. And as I mentioned earlier, really exciting for 2026 is the Beyond season, where Douglas Mawson is going to Europe. Plenty of wildlife to be seen in Antarctica, lots of different penguin types, from the Gentoo penguins, the cute little Adelie penguins, chin straps, lots of sealed wildlife, from leopard seals, Weddell seals, the crab-eater seal, including humpback whales, orcas, and the minke whale, as well as plenty of seabirds to be seen whilst you are in Antarctica. So it really is a wildlife lover's paradise down in Antarctica. So just to touch upon a few of the itineraries without going into too much information, the Antarctic Peninsula is the core of what we do down there. So 2 entry points, going from Ushuaia or from Punta Arenas in Chile. Punta Arenas gives us the option to give customers a fly-fly or a fly-sail or a sail-fly option, which is really, really popular. And of course, going from Ushuaia, we are crossing the Drake Passage, and giving your customer that experience both ways as well. So the Antarctic Peninsula is generally kind of, if you're going to Antarctica for the first time, it's probably where you're going to be starting off. But our Antarctic Explorer itinerary is 13 days, going from Punta Arenas to Ushuaia, or Ushuaia to Punta Arenas. That's kind of that fly-sail or sail-fly voyage. So they get to go across the Drake Passage, and it will either be a Drake Lake, or it can be a little bit more hairy at times. But it's an amazing experience. And of course, you're going to arrive into Antarctica, or via the ship, or you're going to be landing there into King George Island and meeting the ship there as well. And that is going to be a very unique experience, where we are going to be making sure that your customers are getting the very best of what they can see in the Antarctic Peninsula, depending on the time that they are going, which is generally from late October through to about late March. Just see a zodiac there in Antarctica, a whale tail, which is absolutely fascinating. Active Antarctica, as I mentioned earlier, is giving you a number of activities included in the price. And this one is proving very, very popular. And we've got departures in November and December 2025. And they're also on sale, will be going on sale for 2026 in just a few weeks' time as well. But if your customers want a taster of a number of activities and they want to try something new each day, then this is a great option for them. You can just see some of the activities there, including paddling, camping out in Antarctica, the snowshoeing, as well as the snorkeling. Pretty cool. And then finally, just to quickly talk about, if your customers just don't want to cross the Drake either way, you can do a fly voyage. So that is going from Punta Arenas in Chile, and it will be landing into King George Island, where you'll be meeting your ship. Obviously, you'll go have an amazing expedition in between, and then you'll head back to King George Island at the end, where you're going to be flying back to Punta Arenas, where you'll be taking your international flights, or you'll be taking your land arrangements onwards from there. We do that twice a year. And that will be in January and February of 2026. That's a little penguin plane. It's going to take you over to King George Island. I did take this on my voyage earlier this year, and it's a unique experience landing on King George Island itself and getting yourself down to the ship, where you'll be bussed down. You'll put on your mud boots, you'll jump on a Zodiac, and you'll head over to the ship to be greeted by the amazing expedition team. So South Georgia and Falkland Islands is another great option, where you're going to be able to see the emperor penguin, but king penguins, gentoo penguins, chinstrap, lots of more seal wildlife, lots of bird wildlife that you're going to be able to see down there. The core of what a lot of people will want to go down there to see is, of course, the king penguins, which is not possible generally to be seen in the peninsula region. So we have got South Georgia, Falkland, Antarctic Odyssey, which is a 20 to 21 day voyage. That is departing several times throughout the year with a number of activities included on it. Generally, this itinerary may well be for a customer that is a little bit more time available to them. They're not working on such a kind of time poor customer, and they've got more time to kind of get out and about, and they may be able to do the peninsula as well as South Georgia and Falklands all in one. But you also may well find that a customer may well have done the peninsula before, and they'll do this as a secondary voyage to get back to Antarctica. For them beautiful little fur seals, zodiacking throughout the ice there, and them wonderful king penguins. Look at them. And that is one of our activities, Shackleton's Footsteps there. And brand new for 2026 is the Ross Sea and Antarctica, going from Dunedin. And again, loads of wildlife, loads of very rare bird wildlife can be seen down here. But you're also going to see lots of whales, again, minke, orca, humpback, emperor penguins, Adelie penguins, and lots of seal wildlife as well. Of course, throughout the subantarctic islands, you'll be able to see the southern royal albatross, which is a real highlight for some birders, as well as the southern rockhopper penguins. So Mawson's Antarctica is a 24-day voyage going from Hobart to Dunedin, going in December 2025. And we are very much hoping to be able to get across to Mawson's Hut on that particular itinerary. More details about that can be found on our website. But that is really, really exciting as an itinerary for historians, and a very, very kind of rugged in terms of the ice conditions down there with thicker ice. And that is Mawson's Hut there. And then kind of coming north, we have got our Arctic season going up to Svalbard. Lots of wildlife to obviously be kind of seen up there, from walruses, polar bears, Arctic foxes, the Svalbard reindeer, humpback whales, minke whales, lots of seabird, and the cute little Atlantic puffins there as well. So Svalbard Odyssey is one of our most popular itineraries in the region, from Longyearbyen to Longyearbyen. It's a 12-day voyage, running several times throughout the year there as well. Of course, the highlight is to see polar bears on this voyage, and it's worthwhile pointing out to your customers that has to be done from a distance of 500 meters. So when you are seeing these incredible pictures of polar bears, they are generally with a very, very long lens. And obviously we take health and safety as well as conservation very, very seriously here at Aurora Expeditions, and we make sure that we are following local protocols. It's the reindeer, a beautiful polar bear. Very cool. Okay, so zodiacing through the ice there. Obviously, conditions can change very, very quickly. We may well have to make last-minute changes where we need to get back to the ship if ice is closing us off, or if ice is closing in and we can't get the ship out and we need to maneuver. Like I said earlier, we make sure that we ask our customers to come with an open mind, and it is an expedition and things can change very, very quickly. So a few of our discovery tours, once the Antarctic season has finished, we are going to be making our way across up to the Arctic, and that allows us to do some exciting itineraries in between. So we have got a Costa Rica and Panama Canal voyage, which is 12 days, and brand new for 2026, which has been selling really well in the UK market, is the Natural Treasures of Costa Rica, which is a 7-day voyage, which I think is very nicely paired up with a kind of 4 or 5 day land tour to make it extended for your customer as well. And it's a very, very good value for money voyage on that particular one. But Costa Rica, an abundance, obviously, nature there as well. Arenal volcano, lots of turtle wildlife, a really, really exciting destination you can be selling to your customers. Doesn't have to just be a land tour. It allows you to get around the rugged coastline and see some of that amazing destinations in a different way. Now, this one is so, so exciting. And I remember when I was in Australia head office in September, we were just launching this season, and everyone was just absolutely fascinated by the product manager delivering a presentation on Raja Ampat, Indonesia, and Borneo. And we've got 3 voyages doing this on board Greg Mortimer in late 2026 from October. So if your customers are looking to do something different, see some of the most beautiful places in the world, some amazing wildlife, there are some amazing itineraries that we are doing. But I will highlight in the wake of Wallace is a 16-day itinerary. And if I can get myself on board the itinerary in 2026, I will be one very, very lucky person. It looks absolutely incredible. If your customers are looking for something different, they're very, very well traveled, or if they're just looking to get to more remote places in their destination, this is an absolutely great itinerary for them. Tasmania is the maiden voyage of Douglas Mawson in 2025, which is going to be an 11-day circumnavigation of Tasmania. I keep on telling people Tanzania, which is very, very confusing because that would be quite difficult, but it's definitely Tasmania, and we're very, very excited about that one. Obviously, being an Australian company, that was slightly closer to home for us. So I spoke a little bit about small ship cruising in 2026. So we do the polar regions so, so well, and our customers absolutely love it, but they obviously want more. And there's only so many times you can go to the polar regions, which is why we have launched small ship cruising in 2026 on board Douglas Mawson. So what sets us apart here is that the smaller ships, the group size on them is going to be 154, so slightly larger than the polar regions. And there's going to be a voyage host and tour managers, which will escort our customers from start to finish. Each voyage is going to have a focus, and that could be around culture, history, art, food. Food is always going to be a real focus for us, and a curated enrichment program. So if you're going to somewhere like Italy and you're going to be concentrating on the Vatican, there may well be a history and education on the Vatican on board the ship there as well. And it really is all about storytelling and bringing it to your life, and that is all included. So each day there is going to be a port that you're going to be getting off at, and you've got your choice excursions. You could choose between generally 3 excursions that you can do, which are all included in the price. Voyages will be framed with pre and post land programs, including welcome and farewell events, and small groups for each of them excursions each day between 35 and 40 customers. So it's a very, very unique experience. They're generally going to be between 9 and 17 days in duration. As I mentioned earlier, they're going to be starting off in waters closer to the UK. We have an island expedition that we are going to be doing, and then it will be heading over to Europe. So really, really excited to have Douglas Mawson coming into waters slightly closer to home. So you can kind of see there just some of the itineraries that we are offering: Luck of the Irish, the Crown and the Clans. We also have a D-Day commemoration in June 2026. And then we have the Mediterranean and Atlantic coastline as well, with an array of different itineraries that we are offering, which can all be found on our website there as well, if you wanted to find out more details about them. So myself and the team are here to help you and support you. So as I mentioned, we are around if you have any questions, if you want to ask a little bit more information about our brand, about your customer, if you have any questions, very, very specific. No question is a silly question, and we would love you to reach out to us. So we also have Andy Tate, who is our Senior Business Development Manager, who is looking after London, South East and Europe. And then Katie Harbour, who is our Senior Business Development Manager, who's based in Bristol, looking after the rest of the UK. And Scotland. Andy, to point out, is also looking after Ireland. So we are here to support you. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us. You can also join our Facebook group, which is AE Expeditions UK and Europe, where we've got a real community where we are posting our offers there day in, day out. We also have a number of amazing content experiences where you can basically brand content that we've created with your logo, your photo, your email address, etc. there as well. And you can share them to your platform. But we are very, very excited to be launching with the Travel Tech platform and distributing our amazing product to partners to be able to get that out to your customers a lot more as well. So all leaves me to say is thank you so much for your time today. Really, really do appreciate it. If you want to get hold of us, you certainly can reach out to me directly. I'm available on email, which is aturner@auroraexpeditions.co.uk. And our reservations team, Kim and Carol, would love to be able to help answer your questions. Do reach out to reservations@auroraexpeditions.co.uk. But thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you, Andrew. That was absolutely fantastic. Once in a lifetime experiences on offer there, and some incredible destinations. I'll definitely be joining you on the Wake of Wallace.
It looks amazing.
Borneo. It looks absolutely fantastic, and the images there are just unreal. So, as Andrew's just said, Travel Tech have integrated Aurora Expeditions into the iSell platform, which we'll be announcing very, very soon. And what I'll do once we share that announcement, I'll share the recording of the webinar with you as well, and also the contact details that Andrew has on the screen here for his colleagues as well to reach out to directly if anything else is needed, which is actually one of the questions that's come up as to who's the best person to contact. So we will, of course, share that with you. Just a question that's come up, Andrew. How physically fit do you need to be?
In terms of fitness, look, in terms of our average demographic, it's generally kind of in the mid-50s. As long as your customer is physically mobile, the biggest constraint I would guess that I would say is getting on and off the ship, from the ship to the Zodiac. So there's generally going to be a step up that your customer needs to kind of take. As long as they can do that, and they're physically active to a degree, then they are perfect for an expedition. If they want to go trekking when they land, then that's absolutely okay. If they just want to go to the landing site, stand there and watch a little bit of wildlife and mosey around, then that's okay with us. So most levels of fitness are absolutely fine. The biggest concern I would say is getting on and off the ship, on and off the Zodiac there.
Excellent, good to hear. And the other question that we've had in, which I think you covered it at the beginning, is around commissions. So I think you said there that every expedition is commissionable. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's no element of our product that is non-commissionable. So everything is commissionable on board there as well. And obviously, yes, once we kind of have got contracts in place with existing and new partners, commercials is something that we will discuss, and making sure that we are competitive in the market, and making sure that customers and agents are getting the best experience in terms of price, and you as an agent are getting a good cut of commission on that as well.
That's fantastic. That's brilliant. That concludes our webinar for today. So as I said, I will share the recording with everybody once we announce that we are fully integrated. But thank you so much, Andrew, for your time today. What a fantastic product.
Really
nice to see you.
There's one thing I did forget to say, Haley. Did I forget to mention that we are the Expedition Cruise Line of the Year. This is just one of the 4 awards we have won in the last 2 months, as well as our Wave Award just last week for sustainability, our ECN Award for sustainability, and our Supplier Award for sustainability as well. So I thought I'd just quickly get that one in there.
Oh, no, that's fantastic. Well deserved. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Right. Take care, Andrew. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
then. Speak
See you
soon.
later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.